Hey guys, we're going into the third match with the blue-red burn deck in standard. We're 2-0 so far. We've beaten the Jund control deck, and we've beaten the Brain in the Jar deck. So hopefully we keep winning. I'll see you guys when I find an opponent. Looks like we have an opponent, and we also have a solid hand. It's kind of weird in that we didn't get a lot of burn, but we're likely to draw it. And turn 2 Storm Chaser, turn 3 Sin Prodder isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's pretty far from the worst thing in the world. It's pretty good. We also have Exquisite Firecraft to deal with, a creature our opponent might play. All right, so we could be playing the Planeswalker deck of sorts. No, it looks like we're probably playing Ramp, which is one of our. It depends. I mean, I think it is one of our weaker matchups. I think like the straight control decks or dirtily decks we're stronger against. And this deck can sometimes just get hands where they're just suddenly at like 6 mana on a very early turn, and we just can't do anything about it. So that's not exactly ideal. I think we play our Prodder here. We can burn them out. I mean, before they get ramping, especially when we're on the play. But on the draw, I have lost to some World Breakers. Sin Prodder. Good news is they don't have many ways to interact in the early game, so we can just play our game, just start beating them down hard, with our Sin Prodder and our Storm Chaser Mage. And then we have, we got Fiery Temper and Exquisite Firecraft in our hand ready to go as well. It may even be right to play a third Sin Prodder, but I don't know. Well, I was saying they didn't have many ways to interact early. I did forget about that. So that's annoying, but it doesn't kill our Storm Chaser at least. So do we play another Prodder? I think we do. I think we keep the pressure on, like make him cast another one of those. Once he plays a big creature, he gets it back, and then it will wipe my board. But the Prodder definitely creates problems for him. So I think we go for it. Another Kozilek's Return is ugly for us, of course, but yeah, I mean, I think we get in. He's not playing a 7 or greater. He could use Explosive Vegetation this turn, I guess, and then next turn do it. But I think the value we get out of the Prodder, maybe it's not enough actually, because we could have done a lot more damage. They always have Explosive Vegetation on turn 4. Nope, another return. I think that's probably better than Explosive Vegetation. It is ugly for us later on in this game, though. But this turn, I think we just Firecraft and swing. Yeah, there's World Breaker. Well, Fevered Visions, actually, I think is what we play. I don't know if I've actually gotten it in play in the other games I've recorded, now that I'm thinking about it. It's pretty good against this deck, because even after they get to resolve their World Breaker, it's still doing damage. So, alright, and we get to draw a card. We get a Fiery Temper. So what's our opponent got for us here? Nissa's Pilgrimage. Okay, so World Breaker's coming down soon, and it can blow this up, but it's going to get in for 2 damage and have netted us a card. Actually, it did an additional damage, basically. And I think that's probably made it worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he can play World Breaker next turn, which also means our Storm Chaser is going to die, because the Kozilek's Return will come back. Yeah. Ulamog now, too. So we have to burn him out as quickly as possible. If I draw a land here, I would be so happy. Land? Well, it's not land, but I think we are pretty happy with it. We're going to discard Fiery Temper. If we draw another land, we then also get to Twin Bolt, which will get us in for a lot of damage here. Yes. 3 to the dome. Dang, we did draw another land, but not the one we want. So we're going to lose this source of damage, which is fairly important. But we have enough burn in our hand to just kill our opponent. We also get to draw another card, which is relevant. So I think I'll crack my Evolving Wilds now to decrease my chances of drawing a land. So he plays World Breaker, is going to blow this up and kill my Storm Chaser with Kozilek's Return. It's pretty ugly. He does need one more land, but yeah, he has to say, there's no way he doesn't have another land. He Nissa's Pilgrimaged. Those 2 returns, man. So, can we burn him out before he can kill us? Maybe. He is going to stop taking damage from this here, and we're going to stop drawing cards from it. I guess we can burn him out before he kills us if we just draw a land here. Didn't really think about that, but that is the case. So, land. It's a land, but not the one we want. I think we can probably still burn him out before he kills us, though. So I think we're just going to go ahead and Firecraft him down to 3. And in the turn there. So we should just win on our next turn. I don't see it likely that he's going to kill us before then. I could be wrong. He can play Ulamog too, but that's also not going to kill us. I mean, as long as we keep 3 lands in play and have a Fiery Temper in our hand, and he doesn't gain life, we're in good shape. Yeah, Ulamog's coming, I would guess. But it's going to be all for naught, because that's all you got. And you're going to hit some of my lands, I guess. But I'm going to go ahead and cast Twin Bolt, just in case here on your dome. We lose our blue, but who needs it? So we're going to burn him out before he can kill us, which is good. It's we can do that on the play against this deck a lot of the time. So we go to 15. We're going to sacrifice this. I guess we'll get an island. Doesn't really matter, though. So we win like 100 different ways. We already played a Fiery Temper. We may as well not show him we have Avacyn's Judgment in our deck, so we'll just burn him out. All right, so on to game 2. This is a matchup where Negate is really good, both because it can counter Kozilek's Return and because it can counter their ramp spells. And if you counter ramp spells, this deck is in a lot of trouble, so I think we want them. And we don't want Fiery Impulse, like, at all. Some versions of this deck do run Mana Dorks, which make it better. But I'd probably take them out and just put in some more burn to the face. Yeah, I think that's probably what we do. All right, on to game 2. It is harder, as I said, on the play to burn them out before they start doing crazy stuff, but we're going to try. All right. I mean, I like this hand against most opponents, but against an opponent with freaking Kozilek's Revenge, it is a pretty bad hand, but I'm going to keep it. Try to make it work here for us. We do have Fevered Visions. Getting it down on turn 3 is pretty good against this deck. It usually gets in for 4 to 6, and then they have to target it with their World Breaker later, which does buy us, keeps us having more mana. So, okay, so we play the Wilds here. Probably play turn 2 Abbot, and then turn 3 Fevered Visions, and then play Chandra a little later. Okay, so I wasn't sure. He may have sided those in. Wasn't sure if that would be in the deck. Clearly it is. So Fiery Impulse is definitely better against an opponent that has that in their deck. So we're going to play our Abbot here. The card's not going to do anything, but I think the body's relevant. Kozilek's Return would be bad for us right there. All right. I think we play our Visions and swing. It's going to net us a card. It lets us swing this turn. I mean, he might trade, but I kind of doubt it, especially because that thing's going to get huge shortly. It makes me want to side in Roast when I see Sylvan Advocates around, because Roast can kill it no matter what stage of the game. So we probably side out the 2 Avacyn's Judgment. Speaking of Avacyn's Judgment, the 2 Avacyn's Judgments we put in and put in Roasts. Land number 4, Explosive Vegetation, because it's just always... Oh, no, Hedron Archive. Okay. That does make Smash the Smithereens worth thinking about, but I don't think we want it. Okay. So I can do Tormenting Voice plus Avacyn's Judgment, but the Judgment will only do 1. I could also just pass my turn, draw my extra card, and discard Judgment, but I don't think we want to do that. I don't think we do. Although that's like the only way we kill this thing before it gets huge, which is worth noting. Yeah, I think we're in trouble this game because either we take like a big hit here by not playing a land and then having to Avacyn's Judgment that thing. Oh, and actually we can't. No, yeah, we can. No, we can't. If we have to play the land to get in for 3, so that plan doesn't work at all. What we can do is Tormenting Voice, which I guess is probably what we do here, and discard a Fumarole. Yeah. Fiery Temper could kill that thing too, but we didn't get it, so that's interesting. Yeah, I think we just go for Avacyn. I think we just try to get in for as much damage as we can early here, and try to burn him out again before he can kill us. But again, on the play, like makes a huge difference. He's probably going to play World Breaker now. I mean, we're lucky if he doesn't have World Breaker, honestly. We are getting him down to 9 here if he doesn't block. But we don't have a whole lot of action in our hand. We do get to draw another card, though, before he blows that thing up. And it's a land. I mean, Chandra can, like, single-handedly kill if we need it to. Not completely single-handedly, but pretty effectively. So he's got World Breaker. Why wouldn't he, you know? Yeah. And yeah, this deck is just so good, but it does seem like they always have World Breaker in their hand. I mean, I know after the first one they can just keep searching for World Breakers, I get it. But it is quite crazy how often. It's like Siege Rhino was. Just always like, yep. And our mage is a lot worse in this situation because of obvious reasons. It can't actually like swing. So I think I'm going to play Chandra here. And Storm Chaser Mage. I could have done that in a way that I didn't take 1, by the way, so take note of that. We're just going to play some dudes to hold down the ground and pass the turn. And we have 4 damage in our hand, plus Chandra, who can do 2 off of the Exquisite Firecraft. World Breaker number 2. No, Dragon Lord Atarka. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. I would rather have a World Breaker, because that can kill both of these. And he's going to kill those, which makes sense. Yeah, I think we lose. We're going to lose game 2. We're just going to take that, and we're going to concede. Because, I mean, we're dead to that. I mean, I can get him down to 5, but there's no reason to do it, because we lost. All right. It's definitely a game where if we're on the play, though, we won. Fevered Visions would have done more damage, and we would have, just would have won, because we would have gone first. So, do I want Fiery Impulse? I mean, that's likely the only creature in the deck that he has that we can kill with Fiery Impulse. I do think we cut out I think we cut out the extra Avacyn's Judgments here. At least 2 of them, and probably put in Roast because it can kill it on both sides. It can't kill anything else in the deck, but neither can Fiery Impulse. And at least Roast plus something else can like take down a World Breaker if I decide to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all we do. Looks good to me. All right, well, we're on the play again, so maybe we burn them out before they destroy us. All right, I would like to play first. No blue makes this hand pretty terrible, and I think we have to send it back. If we only had 1 Storm Chaser Mage and something else, it might be worth it, but, it's just going to be too slow. We're not going to be able to burn them out with a hand like this one. So we send it back. This one's not that good either, but at least we can counter an early ramp spell, and then we can do some stuff later in the game. So I don't love this hand, though. Our opponent's down to 5 cards, though. We do have that going for us. So that's, at least he's on the draw for his sake. But he's thinking about going to 4 still, which is a good indicator that his hand is not incredible. It's definitely handed, or it seems like if we negate a ramp spell, it's just like he's just done. But he could draw well. Okay, I will put that on top. Play Fumarole, then Sheevan Reef because, well, since we're on the play, we probably just play a second Fumarole. He's not going to play a ramp spell on turn 2. So, and I think it's worth the risk of playing Chandra here and just trying to use her to get me there. He could play Nissa's Pilgrimage, but that one's not what's it called? The growth thing. If he doesn't have red, I'm going to be so happy because, okay, he does have red, but it's tapped, so we're probably going to get to flip Chandra here and do a bunch of damage before he can do anything about it. So I could play Sin Prodder instead of just doing damage, but we don't want to do it like that, actually. We want to swing first because we're only going to play 1 red spell, so yeah. I think leaving up mana for negate is actually better, so I probably use Twin Bolt to get her flipped. So we're going to swing with her, dropping him to 18. We're going to use Twin Bolt. So she untaps. It's worth mentioning that it doesn't all have to be damage done with her tap ability. Just the last time, just the 3rd damage has to be that. So she'll flip here. And then we do 2 more, and we have a source of 2 damage a turn for 0 mana, who I've never actually gotten to 7 in constructed, but, that'd be cool. But we have Negate ready to go, and then we have our Firecraft and our Prodder, so if he tries to play Ramp here, we can counter it, and it's pretty likely he plays something that ramps. No, he plays Thought-Knot Seer. I was not expecting that. We've seen different cards every game out of this deck. Okay. What's he hit? Negate? Firecraft? Probably Firecraft. Because Chandra can quickly burn him to death with the help of Firecraft. And Firecraft can kill Thought-Knot Seer, so, which would draw us a card, so I'd probably do it. So I think he's going to go after the Firecraft. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. We're going to drop into 11 here. We're going to play our Abbot, see what we get, and then we play Sin Prodder. I think tapping out now is right. He could play Kozilek's Revenge or whatever, but I think the upside here is big, and we still hold on to Chandra. So if he plays Kozilek's Revival, Kozilek's Return, that's what it is, then we probably lose. But if he doesn't play it, we probably win. It kind of comes down to that. Is that swinging at me or at Chandra? Swinging at Chandra, that's fine. Don't play Kozilek's Return. Don't play it. Please don't play it. Please. He knows the last card in our hand's Negate, too, because of Thought-Knot. Don't. Okay. All right. So I think we have enough of a lead that we're going to be able to burn him out before he can kill us. It is going to depend somewhat on what we reveal here. It was a mountain, so at least we know we're not definitely drawing a land. Okay. So obviously we go ahead and drop him to 9. I think we play Tormenting Voice and discard Negate because we may just be able to kill him this turn. We definitely got a shot. Okay, second Chandra doesn't hurt, but it's not the ideal draw either. So we do drop him to 3 here. We can block with the other one, which basically guarantees he loses, though, so I guess it's an okay draw. So we'll play this Chandra. I'm going to hold on to this Evolving Wilds just to bluff, I guess. Yeah. It's worth it. It'll make him potentially, he's like, well, what does he have in his hand? I mean, he knows it's not Fiery Temper, or I would have just played it, but do we burn you out before you kill us? It's going to depend. I mean, even if we block, we only still get to drop him to 1. If he plays Ulamog, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can't play Ulamog. I thought those were the other land. Hedron Archive. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kozilek's thingy. No, you're dead, dude. We got there against the ramp deck. Basically, if we win the die roll, I think this is a matchup we win. If we don't win the die roll, I think it's one we lose, and we won the die roll. So we won 2 out of 3 games. Chandra proved her worth there for sure. So that was sweet. We're 3-0, so let's see if we can keep on winning. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.